Hello everybody, welcome to another video on this channel. Today we're going to play CBT with Yuuka Kazami, starring starring Yuuka Kazami from Touhou 4. It'll be, as you all know, CBT stands for Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Yes, that's right. There's no other acronym for this. Let us begin. Which game do you want to play? CBT with Yuuka Kazami, or getting help with patrolling knowledge? So this one, I believe, is the DLC content. That will be a separate video at a certain like goal I'm going to put on the screen here. Haha, like and subscribe. Let's go. You walk along your way to the forest in search for, for the field of sunflowers. After some time, you come across the sunflower garden. You meet the person you're looking for. Hey, that's as far as you go. I really don't want you stepping on these sunflowers. You'll hurt the poor, tortured souls that live inside them. Just kidding. Mostly. I'm Yuuka Kazami. You must be here for the CBT sessions. I mostly just keep to myself and enjoy the company of sunflowers all year round. But I figured it can't hurt to learn more about humans and how their minds work. So I picked up the psychology book that the half yokai shop owner had laying around in a store. It was there I learned about cognitive behavior therapy, CBT for short. It seemed pretty useful, and I couldn't help but want to share it with a few humans. And here we are, so glad you could make it. Really glad you could make it. Real glad. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's so nice of you to join me. The human mind is deep and complex. It's amazing. But at the same time, it's quite irrational, downright absurd at some points. Our brain is ultimately trying to protect itself, but sometimes it overreacts to things that aren't really viable threats to our safety and well-being. These irrational thoughts can cause a slew of problems to our mental health. That's where cognitive behavior therapy comes in. Essentially, cognitive behavior therapy is using logic-based strategies to help alleviate symptoms of poor mental health. Our problems come from irrationality, so it's only natural that grounding ourselves in logic and reason can help us live better. We can't change how we feel, but we can certainly change how we react. And by changing how we react, we can eventually change how we feel. It becomes a full circle, just like nature itself. Kind of beautiful when you think about it that way. With cognitive behavior therapy, you can take some steps to finally reclaim your true self. With that said, this is different from simply giving you advice. These are actual activities that you have to try multiple times to see results. But you wouldn't have come all this way to not put at least some effort in, right? It wouldn't be very nice to waste your time here. Or my time. Wouldn't be nice at all. With that said, let's begin the first lesson. This one is about negative or inaccurate thinking. In life, sometimes things just do not go our way. Naturally, this is perfectly normal and bound to happen eventually. However, Sometimes we think of the worst possible things as a result, or when the unexpected occurs. As a result, we may develop certain lines of thinking that are not in line with reality. To combat this, we simply just need to challenge these overblown thoughts with reality. For example, let's say you said hi to a friend you saw across the hall or street. But oh no, they seemingly completely ignored you. Now tell me, what is the reason for this? What usually comes to your mind when something like this happens? My friend hates me, my friend is mad at me over something I did, or I must be dumb, stupid, and ugly. Yeah. Now that's not an uncommon thought. Well, as you have then demonstrated, it's easy to jump to a conclusion and think it must be our fault when something like this happens. However, this is mostly an emotional side talking to us this way. We have not yet challenged it with logic. Now, I will demonstrate you more logical grounds as to why your friend might have ignored you. They could have been busy with something that took up all their attention. They thought it was a stranger calling someone else. They could have been dealing with something serious, and your voice was drowned out. They simply didn't hear you. See, isn't that better? Don't you feel it's much more likely that they just didn't hear you than them hitting you over something you're not even sure would have made them upset? Next time you think of such negative thoughts, try to counter it with logic. That's some pretty good advice, actually. Instead of thinking they walked past me because they hate me, try something much more logical, such as, they were probably busy with something and simply didn't hear me. Of course, it doesn't apply to just friends. It can apply to anything. For instance, I myself don't particularly have any close friends, but I still worry about some things. When I go flower gazing, a thought will pop into my head. I'll think, oh no, what if someone interrupts my gazing and ruins the flowers I enjoy watching so much? But then I go, don't worry. The moment he so much as creases these flowers, I'll slowly turn him inside out with my pinky finger and make his family watch. Yuuka girl. You know how few male Touhou characters are out there? 99% of the entire Touhou cast is female. It's more likely that it's a she who creases your flowers than a he. And I just feel so much better afterwards. Oh, but such a thing doesn't really relate to you. Here's one. Let's say you want to go to the doctor, but you're scared of needles and don't want to get seriously injured. Once again, just challenge it with logic. Counter it with something like, she's a trained professional who has done this countless times. The chances of anything going seriously wrong are extremely low. Now I hope you get the general idea. Overall, if you get any negative thoughts that are causing you unease, be sure to try and challenge them with logic-based thoughts. Oh, I wouldn't try to have grand arguments with yourself in your head, just simply address the thoughts. And remember, you don't have to entirely believe what you counter it with. The important thing is, to just respond in an appropriate manner. Well, that concludes our first lesson. Now for the next lesson. This one is about thought journals. thought journals are the use of writing down your negative feelings and identifying patterns of harmful and often illogical thinking, then challenging those lines of thinking with more helpful, balanced, and logical thoughts. First, you write out what exactly is causing you distress and why. Be as specific as you can. Write down what's causing your feelings. You can even note the intensity of how you feel. Then, when you have written it out, identify the portions of irrational thinking present in what you have written. Finally, after you have identified the irrational portions, challenge them with more healthy, balanced thoughts that are based on logic. This is helpful not only because you're challenging your beliefs, again, but also because writing down your thoughts allows you to give them a whole new perspective that can help you cope better. Now the tricky part is identifying what exactly you wrote down that's irrational. I think it's best if I just give you an example of what a proper thought journal entry looks like. Take a look at this. I tailor-made it for a common situation humans face. What's bothering me? I think my friend actually don't like me and don't want to hang out with me because I'm a depressive person who brings them down. How does it make you feel? Sad, depressed, lonely, hopeless. How bad it hurts? 7 out of 10. I mean, it hurts pretty bad. Irrational lines of thinking present. It is not. Mind reading. I am assuming what my friends are thinking about me even though I cannot read their minds. There's no way to know what they're thinking without them actually telling me. Negative assumptions. I am only thinking that my friends don't like me. However, I did not take into account the nice things they have done for me that proves that they do in fact like me. Emotional reasoning. I'm only going off of this based on feeling alone and not logic. There is no evidence to suggest that my friend secretly despises me. What is a more balanced, reasonable thought? My friend wouldn't actually be my friend if they didn't like me. I can always ask them if there's anything I do that puts them in worse mood, as they can just tell me themselves and we can just work from there. And with that, you should have an understanding of what a thought journal is and how to use it. It involves more effort but can be more helpful. That's generally what you have to put in when it comes to more extensive therapy. On to the final lesson. This one is called belief experimentation. This one is a step further from what you've learned so far. This is one of the most powerful CBT strategies you can learn. As the name implies, a belief experiment is when you act out on something that you think may cause you distress and then noting what actually happens when you acted it out. Since our negative feelings are not based on reality, acting them out and noting what happened is one of the best ways you can ease troubles. This is because, more often than not, what actually transpired doesn't match with what we thought would happen in our minds. Now, to get started, first start by writing down the experiment you're going to do that's based on your troubles. Then, write down what you think is going to happen. Then you write down what actually ended up happening and what you have learned from it. Wait, what's it again? Oh yeah. Write down what's going to happen. Next, perform your experiment whenever that may be. Then you write down what actually happened, ended up happening, and what you have learned from it. I accidentally skipped that dialogue, so I'm reading it from here. Was it bad? Was it as bad as you thought it was? Was it a positive or negative outcome? Would it be? Would you be doing this again in uh in the future? Did it ease your troubles? Just like the thought journal, reflection is key. I know, I'll perform a belief experiment myself. I already finished some of it anyway. Here goes. Experiment. I shall give CBT lessons to a human. Prediction. The human will end up wasting my time because I believe humans to be weak and disappointing. Outcome. Well, I guess now is as good as any other time to show you my new spell card. Excuse me, what? Now then, where were we? Yuuka, that's just a gun. That's not even a card, that's a gun. Alright, we were just seeing if you were really wasting my time or not. Let me quiz you on something of the things we learned today. If you get it right, that means you have indeed been listening and therefore have not been wasting my time, thus proving that humans aren't so bad after all. Get it wrong, and well, you'll just be confirming what I knew. But that's okay. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. Now, on to the final question. Let's start with something basic. What does CBT stand for? Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Or, I love you, Yuuka, marry me, Yuuka, Siyuka Biscuit. Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Of course it is Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Do not shoot me. Good. Now for the next question. What is a cognitive thought journal? When you write about events that are bothering you and find flaws in your lines of thought? Or when you write about how much you love Yuuka, when you write about how you're going to make Yuuka happy, when you write about how cute Yuuka is? Of course it's the first one. Do not shoot me. Very nice. On to the last question. What is a belief experiment? Answer the question. When you act out on what's bothering you and take notes of what actually had transpired. When you experiment with kissing Yuuka. When you experiment with calling Yuuka cute. First one, do not shoot me, Yuuka Kazami. I'm here for therapy, not be traumatized. At least you put his gun down. Oh, come on now. I was never going to hurt you. Phew, I live for another 20 years. Because this is old time in Japan and most people probably only live until like they're 40. Well, unless you're a yokai, that is. I just like to have fun and toy around with humans. They're so unique. Sometimes I just mess around with them. Other times they turn into fertilizer for the sunflowers. Speak normally. I'm trying to speak normally here. Mostly kidding with that one. Hope so. Wait, what do you mean by mostly? Anyway, let's take this thought process from the top now, shall we? Experiment. I shall give CBT lessons to a human. Prediction. The human will end up wasting my time because I believe humans to be weak and disappointing. Outcome. Prediction did not come true. The human listened to me attentively, answered every question correctly, exceeded my expectations, and thoroughly entertained me. Reflection. Humans can be a wonderful source of entertainment. I shall hang out with them more. Particularly this human right here. Oh, I guess this goes without saying, but when you feel scared or frightened, always remember the happy times in your life. And that is a quote to live by, Miss Kazami. That is a quote to live by. Good memories can save your life, as they say. Well, that concludes the lessons. Try out whichever method works best for you whenever you need use it. You need to use it. Where's the two? Make use of what I taught you today. I mean it. That said, I had a really good time today. Thank you. You're free to come back anytime you want if you need a refresher. I do hope to see you soon. I better see you soon. Well, take care now. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. And goodbye.